car dealers are coming up with some new tactics on how to depart you and your money. And it doesn't even have to involve around sales. No, there's a new trend coming on, and we're going to talk about this. And we're going to see two videos here coming up. One of them is the new trend that's going around, and the second is that these people, some of them have made payments for 2 years, and their principal balance is still the same as they did 2 years ago. So, what is this new trend? And there's a new trend coming on that they're saying that if you don't know which car or which one you want to buy, we'll charge you $50 to the salesperson, because if you're going to waste their time and basically test drive, they're going to charge you 50 bucks. And let me not gatekeep anymore. Let's hear it from a car salesperson what we're talking about.
So salespeople are starting to charge consulting fees for wasting their time. I'm hearing around the country, if you go into a dealership, some salespeople are charging you $50 if you don't know what you want. This is interesting because salespeople don't get paid until they sell a vehicle. They're commission only, just like a realtor, just like any other sales position. So if I spend my entire day with five different customers that are all, well, I'm just looking, I'm not sure what I want. Great, I can get paid because at the end of the day, right? Even though they don't buy a car, I'm still getting something out of it.
So, this is what's going on. You step on the lot, you say, I don't know which Toyota I really want to buy. They'll charge you $50 and then they'll show you around a little bit. So, first of all, I think this is a horrible, horrible practice, and I don't know if this dealer does it or not. I'm just seeing the rounds go around, and car salesmen actually love it because then they're like, if I just show it, I make $50. If I show a few people cars, then I still make 200 bucks a day, plus whatever the dealership minimum wage is, if there's any, and I made some money. And the problem that I see is if you're going to go and charge people like a view tax, where you're going to say, hey, I want to look at some cars and I'm going to go and view these cars, then you're basically going to have no customers coming up here, because you can go do that at CarMax. So you can go at CarMax, shop around, test drive 4 or 5 cars, and then they're going to be done. So this is going to put a bad reputation. They're going to put a bad taste in somebody's mouth just when you're going to step on the lot, because there needs to be a negotiation first, right? They're like, hey, I charge $50 to show you around. And if this was to me, if I went up to this dealership and they said, you know what, we're going to charge you 50 bucks and we're going to look at some cars, I would be like, nope, we're done. We're out. I'm not going to do this. Let's charge you some money, or let's charge you a service or sales. That is what sales is. For sales, you have to go out and get it. And that's why there's sales commissions, right? And that's why you make sometimes 500, sometimes 200, sometimes a few $1,000s off of a car they sell. Now they're like, there's no way that they're making $4,000 on a car. Happened before. I've seen other people selling these luxury trucks with the widow sticker package and the Harley Davidson, charging $10,000, $20,000 above asking price. And then there's a huge fat check commission coming in. The same goes for real estate. If you sell a super high expensive house, there's a fat commission check coming your way. And so when you're looking at these cars, you're looking at these trucks that's sitting here, and people are like, you know what? Let's go buy one. But I'm not sure if I want this one or that one or something else. They're going to be like, is this going to be showing around? And let me charge you 50 bucks. And when you're going to go and buy houses, you have a pre-approval letter. So most of the time, real estate, are you pre-approved? And then I'll show you around. And if you're not, let's get you pre-approved first to see what you can afford, and then we'll go. And maybe this is what car salesmen should do. Hey, do you have financing lined up or something else? But this comes with sales. This is the in definition of sales. And I see that all the time now, that people don't know how to do sales. During COVID, when you had one car available in your whole area and people wanted it, you didn't have to do sales. All you'd have to do is literally go out to advertise it, and people were paying over asking price, and it was your way, because small supply and big demand, you make the rules. But now it's different. You saw the lots, they're stacked. And so when the lots are stacked, then all of a sudden, hey, just real quick, if you could really, really help me out and click that like and subscribe button, that would really help my channel out. So thank you. And let's continue on with the video. What's going to happen is that you have to do sales. You have to go out, you have to convince customers, you have to go out there and actually do the sales. And people don't want to do the work. I've seen it all the time. They're goofing around out front rather than picking up the phone, calling, and saying, you know what, we need to revolutionize how we buy cars. Maybe we need to go on online sales. Maybe we should say, hey, you wanna look at this one out? Don't worry about coming in. I'll drive it to you and you can look at it and we can go test drive it. So where are you at? Oh, I live 10 miles down the road. Great. let me get the keys. I have somebody that's going to look at it. So let's go do the paperwork, send me your ID, and let's go test drive it around the block right from the comfort of your own home. I'll come to your home, we'll do the test drive, and we can do the paperwork your way. But people lost the way of doing business. They thought just because it's been like this for decades and we're car dealers, we can do what we want. And we're starting to see that consumers don't want to do that no more. If consumers want to do stuff and the industry doesn't shift, it's going to dine on a vine. And we're seeing all these cars. We're seeing all of them. Will there always be some sort of car sales? 100%. But it is changing how we do business, how we do literally everything. We're doing online. We're doing online shopping, and we've seen it with Carvana. We've seen it with other online car sales. And people always say we want to have cars be done to consume direct to consumer with the dealership model where it's going to be gone. And if you're going to start charging the visitation tax where you come and you dress drive some, all of a sudden that directly to consumer might be a good idea, and you just have a showroom floor like Tesla does and you drive them around. So let's watch this guy talking about this other car dealer talking about. So this woman basically bought a car and she made payments for 2 years and her principal's still the same. So
going around from this TikToker just being Brianna is she was surprised after 1 year of making almost $2,000 payments on a 2021 BMW X5M that most of her payments didn't really affect the principal balance and she only paid $5,000 towards the principal. This is why it is so important. This is why I post my customer videos for everybody to read the contract, to understand what they're getting themselves into, because these financial obligations are serious and there can't be a situation where we will all be blind and ignorant to the fact to say that, oh, I'm being scammed. And I'm not blaming this young lady for posting her video. I'm sure she is shocked and surprised that all of her payments, which are very significant month to month, almost $2,000 on this 2021 BMW X5, didn't really put a dent in her principal. But this is where we take accountability, we take a step back, and we understand how do we improve and how do we better ourselves financially, mentally, physically, emotionally on the next part in our lives. So this is one of those moments. So let's take a look.
We confirmed the reason you are returning the vehicle. I said I have had the car for a full year and it's only showing I paid $5K. I've been paying $19.94, which was wrong, 19.8 for every month for an entire year, and no way I only paid $5K.
She's basically breaking down the fact that after 1 year of paying her payment, she feels as if she was scammed because she logged onto her Ally account and she tried to check what her principal balance was and how much progress she made. She was very shocked to find out it was very minimal, and she still owes over $100,000 on this 2021 BMW X5, and she is literally telling the bank that she wants them to come pick him up. And in this situation, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to understand what do we get ourselves into. And she does admit in the video that some of her decisions weren't the best, weren't the most calculated, weren't the most educated, but she is growing and she is going to do a better job next time. And this is an example for all of us to understand that we should never put ourselves in this predicament where we are blindsided or we feel as if like we don't understand what we're getting ourselves into because we do our own calculations, we do our own understanding in our head, and we sell ourselves into an illusion or a delusion that never is the reality. Most interest-bearing products are going to be front and heavy, meaning the interest you pay will be towards the front of the loan. So all of your payments or most of your payments or most of the payment you're paying, especially when...
So this guy's also talking about what I always talk about in my content. I always say you need to understand what you get yourself into. If you're sitting inside this office and you're signing $1,000 a month note, an $800 a month note, a $3,000 a month note, you need to know your ability to make money. If you're making $20, $30, $40,000 a month and you're like really rolling in the dough and you got a checking account that's multiple six figures, maybe signing up for a $4,000 car payment isn't the end of the world. But if you're making $30 an hour and you sign up for an $800 car payment plus insurance going to be another $300 and you're at $1,100, then you got to put in gas and everything else. And when we do the math, just for laughs and giggles, so let's say you're all in, you're going to be at $1,100. That means a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of gas, and the car payment and insurance. If we divide that by 30, that means you're going to basically work at 37 hours for that car. And that is almost a week. So you can clearly say that you're going to be working a week out of a month just for that car. And now some people say, it might be worth it because I'm driving one of these nice trucks over here. And it's like, you know what? For one of these nice dualies, it might be worth me doing that because I'm going to tow with it. I'm going to do something with it. But if it's just going to be me going to work, it might really not be worth going out of my way to spend 25% of my entire paycheck towards the car. But we live in America. Status symbols are huge. They're trying to justify it with these car dealers making YouTube videos, basically saying, you know what, it is time to look at what car dealers are paying on their car payment, and they're paying $1,000 a month. So why shouldn't you? And they're trying to justify it. And it gets so many people messed up because they cannot afford a car like this. They just can't do it. And when you're looking at the run of the economy, where is this going? You have to ask yourself, is my personal life, is my economical status increasing or decreasing or staying flat? And now to everybody that says, oh, you always make negative content or something else. When there's a downturn in the market, not everything in the market goes down. There's going to be industries that are going to be booming, and you might be one of those industries. And just because there's a bear market, there's always a bull market somewhere. And so you might be doing better than ever. You might be in a business that's going to flourish like COVID, and you're just going to be rolling in the dough. And so you have to decide for yourself, is my are my skills going to be more in demand during this downturn, or are they going to be less in demand? And so then you're going to have to decide, can I go out, leverage myself? Can I go and buy a BMW X5? Can I go out and buy a new Toyota 4Runner? Can I go buy a $700 car payment? Is it going to be worth it for me to do that? Or maybe I should go the conservative route and kind of ride this out on the low and say, you know what, I'm just going to get something that's $300-400. Yeah, it's not going to be nice. It's going to be something that might not be that reliable, but at least I'm not tying up so much money. And if there's going to be hard times coming, then I'm still okay, because $200 a month isn't really going to change my world. But if you're going to get into $800, $900, $1,200, and we're seeing that 25% of all car payments now are over $1,000 a month. And it is just devastating to see that people are going to wrap up 25% of their income into their cars. And then there's insurance, and there's tires, oil changes. And then something might not work out the way you planned it. And you're going to be in the gutter, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm really out of luck. And I can't do that anymore. So this is how life goes. You leverage yourself into something, and then you can't deal with the consequences because you had a bad spree, you had some bad luck, or your company had to relocate you to a higher cost of living, and they said you're going to be fired like Dell, or you got to come back to the office, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to go back to San Francisco. I have a super expensive car payment. My house that I just bought down on the coast, I can't keep that, but I can't sell it because I'm underwater here. I'm underwater on my car. I got to move back. And so all of a sudden, the death spiral starting to come into play. And this is what I tell you guys: make decisions that 5 years down the line, you are going to be proud of. And people are like, no, I'm living for now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live in 5 years or something. It's like the American syndrome of, let me get it today. And this is what reality is. They tell you, get the new car smell, full warranty. And you don't have to worry about maintenance or repairs or anything else. Just come inside and we'll help you out. And they're good at their job. I give them that. And they're really good at marketing. And all of a sudden, you signed something up that started off with $500 a month. All of a sudden, you're at 800-900 because they got you. And this is reality of so many people. And not enough people come out and say they swindled me, they did something to me, or they changed the numbers on me. And even if the FTC said you cannot advertise false pricing, too many people don't really have the key to actually cancel those dealers and say, you know what, that's false advertising. Let me report that. Let me start saying some stuff, because there's so many shady people that are going to be like, you know what, this wasn't right, or it was just a one-time offer, or this was the end of a month type of stuff, or we were just hitting some numbers and this was only valid today, and blah, 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 blah. And that is how life works. And I've always been telling my followers, make sure that if you're going to get yourself into something, you're going to leverage yourself into a car, you're going to leverage yourself into a house, you're going to use credit to buy whatever it is, or finance pools, or finance whatever it is. You can finance literally everything, as I did with my Starbucks. You saw that. And my first payment went through, and they billed my credit card. So my first actual payments for the drink I had 2 weeks ago is going to be coming up in October. And so this is absolutely crazy. And then on the Klarna app, they told me that I'm now pre-approved. They did a soft credit check. I can spend $2,000 on buy now, pay later situations. So I can literally go and take out a Visa card or something else and start deferring my payments. And this is another problem. If you're going to defer payments forever, you are basically front loading it now and then paying it in the back end. And this is what I don't want you to do, because if you're going to push everything towards the back, your future you will have to pay for that. And it might be nice for now, be like, oh, I'm hard times, economy might get better. And we don't know how long this is going to last with the downturn in the market, but it might be longer than you've planned, and you might push it back 2 years. And in 2 years, you need to get something. And in 2 years, it's worse than today. So you should have made the payments today and not pushed everything back. And so this is just a caution to you. Make sure you make good financial decisions for your life. And people say I should use more concrete examples. I can't. My audience is looking is from 55 to 30, and they might make, there's some of them are in LA, some of them are in tech. So if you're making $200,000, $300,000, would I really be worried about an $800 car payment if I make 300,000? I have super mad skills, I have a robust network. I probably wouldn't be worried about an $800 car payment. But if you are making $30 an hour and you're barely scraping by and you have 2 jobs, would I be worried about an $800 car payment? I would. And so this is just kind of life in a nutshell for you. And thank you guys for watching and looking at this and going on my 15-minute walk. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Is this something that you see in the market or not? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.